What if you get a chance to live in an imaginary world where everything is just opposite to what you have now? Will you be curious to enter such imaginary world? Have you ever noticed clouds forming different shapes and designs, and after some time it disappears and new shapes are formed? This is because of imagination we have. Today we are going to discuss about life in imaginary world taken from class 5 Topsy Turvy Land, written by Wilkinson. Have you ever thrown your school bag on your bed? Have you ever left your shoes and socks here and there? Have you ever played with your ball in your room? Does your room sometimes look like this? So this is for you all students. You have to relate whether your room looks like this. Do you throw all your belongings here and there, or you keep it tidy and clean? This is for you. Now let's start the poem. Now read about one such upside down land. The people walk upon their heads. The sea is made of sand. The children go to school by night in topsy turvy land. The front door step is at the back. You're walking when you stand. You wear your hat upon your feet in topsy turvy land. And buses on the sea you will meet while pleasure boats are planned to travel up and down the streets of topsy-turvy land. You pay for what you never get. I think it must be grand, for when you go, you're coming back in topsy-turvy land. So this is the poem. See, through this poem, the poet has taken us to a completely different world where nothing is normal. We live in a world where people walk on their feet. The bus runs on the street. Boat sails in the water, right? But in topsy-turvy land, it's all opposite. Topsy-turvy means upside down. As the name only says upside down, here everything happens in an abnormal way, like people walk on their head and feet up. Okay, people walk on their head and feet up. They wear hat on their feet rather than head. You can see in the picture the man, he is walking on his head and he is wearing his hat on his feet. The bus runs in the sea and the sea is full of sand and not water. The boat moves on the street rather than sea. Children go to school at night rather than day. Usually we go to school in day. Yes, but here in topsy-turvy land, when do children go to school? They go to school at night. And we have main doors at entrance of the house, right? But here in topsy-turvy land, the main door is at back of the house. In this land, people are forced to pay what they have not purchased. It means that you have to pay whether you buy or you don't buy things. You have to pay. Okay, and people return when they leave. It means everything is strange and funny. We know these things don't exist, but as it is topsy-turvy land, here everything and anything is possible. So this is all about the poem. Now let's see the notes of the poem. First one is, when do children go to school in topsy-turvy land? Answer, the children go to school at night in topsy-turvy land. Then next, in the poem, if buses travel on the sea, then where do the boats travel? How should it rightly be? Answer, boats travel on the streets in topsy-turvy land. Boats should sail in the sea and buses should run on the roads. Next, the topsy-turvy land is very different from our land. Let's draw a comparison by filling in sentences wherever needed. See, here blanks are given. One side topsy-turvy land and one side is our land. So let's see how our land is different from topsy-turvy land. People walk on their heads. Where in topsy-turvy land, people walk on their heads. And in our land where we live, people walk on their feet. Then in topsy-turvy land, the buses run on the sea. And in our land, the buses run on land, on road. Then in topsy-turvy land, they wear their hats on feet. And in our land, where do we wear hats? We wear hats on head. Then in topsy-turvy, boats sail in the sea. Boats sail in the sea. No, here sea will not come. Here road will come. Boats run on road. And in our land, boats sail in the sea. Then in topsy-turvy, people pay for what they don't get. And in our land, people pay for what they get. Now the next main is fun with sounds. You have to uh, pronounce it properly. You have to read it loudly. Pleasure, treasure, measure. Wear, tear. Stare, wear. Plant, canned, scanned, strand. Topsy-turvy, hurly-burly, curly-whirly. You have to practice these words. Then next is the words in the sentences are jumbled here. Rearrange them to make meaningful sentences. Words that begin with a capital letter are the first word of the sentence. See here, 5 sentences are given, but the sentences are not arranged properly. You have to see which word will come first. Here hint is given that a new sentence always starts with the capital letter. So you have to take the word first, which is starting with a capital letter. First one is Renu naughty is a girl. Does it makes any sense? You are not understanding what is written, so you have to correct this. So the correct format is Renu is a naughty girl. Then second one, untidy room her always is, and the correct is her room is always untidy. Then next, mother her advises her clean to it. Her mother advises her to clean it. Never listens she her mother to. She never listens to her mother. Then last one, kind of what child you are. What kind of a child you are. So this is the correct format. You have to write like this. Then next is, can you tell of some things that go topsy-turvy at home and there is disorder? So this you have to write of your own. Yes, things do go topsy-turvy at our home. During the celebration, function and get-together, often things are kept here and there. Topsy-turvy means all upside down, means here and there. Things are not in proper order. So when do these things happen? At the time of festival or any celebration, function, or if there is any get-together, party, we are in a hurry. We keep things here and there and then we keep searching for it. So those things you have to share here. Then next is, write 5 things that you do at home to make your home look neat and clean. So what you do to look your home neat and clean? I tidy up my room. I help my mom in kitchen. I mop the floor. I do the dishes. I arrange things in proper order. Then next, let's imagine a topsy-turvy scene and describe it in the lines below. Now here you have to create a topsy-turvy scene by your own self. You have read the poem, you understood what the poem tells, what is the meaning of topsy-turvy, where everything is jumbled, where nothing goes right. So here you have to make an imaginary scene, you have to make an imaginary scene and describe it here. I have written for an example. See, in topsy-turvy land, trees run faster than lion. Tortoise jumps. Animals fly. Birds crawl. People walk on walls. Insects dance. Non-living things talks. And human beings are dumb. Means everything you have to write that does not exist. Because this is topsy-turvy land, here everything is possible. So like this you have to imagine and write. Then next is, 2 stories got mixed up, sort them out and write them in the appropriate boxes. Here few sentences are given. Actually it is the mixture of 2 stories. You have to see which one will suit which story. So let's see. We thought the lion had eaten someone. Suddenly the kite lifted him off the ground and took him over the tree tops. He saw a shoe in the lion's cage. Finally, the kite brought him back to the park. Our class had gone to the zoo. Puran was flying the brand new kite in the park. Some children stood and screamed, and some ran to the director of the zoo. Puran was frightened and excited. The lion had not eaten anyone because the shoe was one of the lion's toys. See, if you read like this, you will not understand. But there is a mixture of two stories. You have to separate and make it a proper story. So let's see here, the magic kite. In this part, all the sentences that are related with kite, you have to arrange it here. And who did the lion eat? This is the other story, the second story. Here you have to bring all the sentences of the zoo and lion. So the first story is, Puran was flying the brand new kite in the park. Suddenly the kite lifted him off the ground and took him over the treetops. Puran was frightened and excited. So here the one story ends. Then second story, our class had gone to the zoo. He saw a shoe in the lion's cage. We thought the lion had eaten someone. Some children stood and screamed, and some ran to the director of the zoo. The lion had not eaten anyone because the shoe was one of the lion's toys. Now this is the another story of the zoo. So like this you have to separate the stories. So here we have done with the notes. I hope you understood the poem Topsy Turvy Land. You enjoyed it. It was different. Usually we learn or we see the poem which gives message, but this is a funny type of poem which will take you to the imaginary world. You have to imagine that way. I hope you enjoyed it, you liked it, and this video was useful and helpful with the notes. If you want more such notes, then do hit the like button, share, and subscribe the channel.